Hello everyone and welcome to the Football Insider Gaming channel. My name is Connor Bromley and today I am going to guide you through what it is like to manage Rangers on Football Manager, or better yet, what it is to take over Rangers at the start of the game and the problems and the positives that you'll be presented with. So in this video, we are going to look at the Rangers squad as a whole on Football Manager, pick out the best players, pick out the ones who maybe aren't rated too highly. We're also going to look at whether or not there are any good Wonderkids in the system at Rangers, any good academy products there. We're going to look at the transfer budget. We're going to look at the wage budget to see if you can improve this Rangers team. We are also going to look at potential areas of the squad that you need to improve going forward. As well as that, we're going to take a look at the facilities at the football club and also the expectations from the board and the supporters. So all of that is coming up soon. If you enjoy this video, please leave a like and please subscribe to the channel if you can. And also let me know in the comment section below if you are going to take over Rangers and who your main transfer targets are going to be. Let's dive into the video. So once you end up being appointed manager, I've just put Danny Rollin here, who obviously is not 25 years old, but I just made a quick character to get into the game quickly. You'll be welcomed, no different than the previous game. So as soon as you become Rangers manager, and here we've got Danny Roll in as new Rangers boss, you'll get presented lots of different information about being a Rangers fan. You get the social media following, season ticket holders, the waiting list, the influence of the supporters. We get the stadium facilities as well. We're going to go through all this, of course. The club expectations. So we want to maintain having the best youth system in the league, also work within the wage budget and be competitive in the UEFA Champions League. And being competitive in the UEFA Champions League is required, and so is work within the wage budget, but maintain the best youth system is just desired. So yeah, they're interested in that because being competitive in the Champions League is obviously quite a difficult feat for a team like Rangers because, in real life they've struggled in that competition. In terms of injuries, when you first load into the game, you've got Theo Asgard, who is injured. You've also got John Sterling. And of the two of them, Sterling's expected to be back within 2 to 4 months. And you've got Asgard, who is expected back in 4 to 8 weeks. So a bit of a blow to start with. You've got two pretty important players out. In terms of the recruitment, Rangers have 0 in terms of transfer budget. They've got 0 in terms of wages. They've got 390,000 in regards to scouting. And that is enough to pretty much scout wherever you want on the game. So we've got a worldwide scouting range. So that means Rangers can scout anyone. But of course, you're going to have nobody to buy initially because there is a 0 transfer budget. Okay, so we've got the Rangers squad up here right now. Let's look through some of the better players. So we'll start with Nicholas Raskin at the top of this list. And we are looking at a very, very good ball-winning midfielder, good tackling, good aggression, which is what you want, good physical attributes, very good mental attributes, and just a solid player, one of the best midfielders in the league, which you can see here off his sort of chart, ranks very well all round. And look, he's not a world beater. He's not going to be playing for Liverpool anytime soon, but for Rangers in the Scottish Premiership, Raskin is a very good player. We move on. Let's have a look at Majowski, who they brought in this past summer, and we are looking at a player that's pretty much a good all-round striker, decent finishing, decent aerial attributes, decent pace. He's got some decent mental attributes. He's not a world beater. We're not talking about somebody who's going to fight to win in the Champions League, but Majowski is a decent option. Then we look elsewhere. Cornelius here, centre-back from Marseille. Decent centre-back here, good aerially. Got some good physical attributes as well. Not necessarily the quickest, but not the slowest. And yeah, just a solid player for the Scottish Premiership. Oliver Antman, we'll have a look at him here. Very good physical, good pace there. 15 pace is going to be really, really useful, particularly in the Scottish Premiership. Decent first touch, decent crossing, okay dribbling as well in there. Overall, a good little chart here. And the speed, that's what's going to help him certainly in the Scottish Premiership. Speed is going to be key. Gassama, another reasonably quick player, 21 years old, so he's going to grow, lots of potential. Determination is very good as well, which is really useful when it comes to growing a player. As we look at him here, his speed's good, and if you can get this chart up, Kasama, there's no reason why we can't get the speed up to 15, the vision up maybe to 15, the attacking up to 14. So Kasama is a decent player, suitor, steady player for the level, reasonably okay physically, pretty good mentally as well, and very good at heading. So decent player all around. Aerially is where he's going to excel for you. Next up, Nasser Dejiga, and we look at him here. We've got, again, decent enough physical, decent enough mental. He's not a world beater. I don't know if he'd be a starting centre back, but he will be a decent option, certainly playing in the Scottish Premiership against the lower sides. John Sterling, who is injured on the game, good acceleration here. So we've got a player that's got decent physical attributes, and certainly for a fullback that's needed. Yes, some of these attributes over on the technical side leave something to be desired. Decent tackling, decent bravery as well on the mental side. But yeah, not a fantastic player on the game, but certainly one that's going to do a decent job in the fullback position. Jack Butland, goalkeeper here, very, very strong goalkeeper, as we see here. One of the better ones, of course, in the Scottish Premiership. All round, just a solid option in net, and not a player that you'd need to replace anytime soon. James Tavernier, we're looking here at, a very solid player. Long shots really, really high, of course. Set pieces, very, very good with him as well. 18 penalty taken, 17 free kick taken. He will score your goals. He's still got good physical attributes despite the fact he's 33. You look at his chart here, very, very good. Very attacking fullback, of course, but Tavernier will be a really good option. Max Aarons, who they brought in this past summer, potentially could be a Tavernier replacement if you were to sign him permanently. Good physical attributes, decent mental attributes as well, decent even technical attributes. Different sort of player to Tavernier, doesn't have the same attacking output. We move on. Diamande, possibly the most exciting player, I think, in this Rangers squad. Really good technical attributes, really good mental attributes as well. Good physical attributes. We look at his chart here. Fantastic, good attacking midfielder who's going to be, perfect playing in the Scottish Premiership. Really excited to have him. Joe Rothwell, decent player, solid, lots of experience. Physical attributes are very good. He does okay mentally as well. He does okay technically. Going to be a difficult player for opposition teams in the Scottish Premiership overall. We've got Jose Cifuentes, who's out on loan, but, decent player. Could come back in a year's time, see how he does. Who else we got in here? Chimetti, who the club have bought this past summer. And again, he's a player that probably with time, 21 years old, he will get better. Really hefty wage, £25,000 a week, but good physical attributes. He's got decent mental ones, decent technical ones. With his age, he could progress as a player and become, a very, very good player. Let's have a look at Lyle Cameron here, 22 years old. It's not necessarily a world beater, but he'll do okay as an option. If we look at players with the highest potential at Rangers, we obviously got Mikey Moore in there. I think we've ticked off most of these and had a look at them. Connor Barron, 22 years old, defensive midfielder, decent enough physical attributes, okay mental ones, some okay technical ones as well. Decent set pieces though, which is worth having. But Connor Barron, he's a player that's going to do pretty well at this level. If we look at the under-19s, Rangers' best young prospect is a lone player from Brentford, Jaden Magoma. In terms of players that they own themselves, Bailey Rice, who anyone who's played FM24 will know, very, very good player on that game. Will he develop on, at this stage, 18 years old? You'd want to see some significant progress for him in your first season. And we look here as well. We've got Zebedee Lawson, again, a bit similar to Rice, but this guy's 16 years old, so, he's going to possibly have a greater improvement, not great determination, which normally is an indicator of how well they will progress in the future, though it's a new game, so who knows? There could be other things that play into that. Alexander Smith, 17-year-old, decent prospect here. Certainly somebody who you could give minutes, particularly in cup competitions. So yeah, that just about sums up the main players in the squad. We've already looked at recruitment and lack thereof of recruitment so far. And let's have a look as well at these. So finances. The club have got 30 million in their finances, which is pretty good. They've got 3.2 million in debt, I believe, original debt, remaining debt. So I'm guessing that'll be the case. This is the projected balance for the season. Just are projected to make a profit in this season. Turnover all that good stuff. So yeah, this is pretty interesting. End of the season, you're expecting a budget of about 5 million, but of course you'll be able to improve that with selling players potentially. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. In terms of the facilities, we're looking at, excellent corporate, excellent training, great youth facilities, so you can improve that. Good academy coaches that could do with being improved, exceptional youth recruitment in there as well. So yeah, we're looking at decent facilities. And then let's have a look at the expectations. So, the fans want to become the most reputable team in Scotland. That's desired. Finish above Celtic. That's required, of course. Finish above Aberdeen. That's favoured. Win the league. That's required. So this is what the fans are looking for this season. Reserving judgment, of course, on these things. But yeah, they want to see Rangers basically win the league in this current season. You've got 44,000 season ticket holders. I think we touched on this before. 17,500 season ticket waiting list. In terms of affiliated clubs, you've got a few in here. Hamburg's an interesting one. Linfield, Wraith Rovers. So yeah, there's a few interesting Alouette Athletic as well in there. And yeah, let's have a look as well. The board, obviously we don't have anything in there right now, but these are the main objectives which you would need to follow in this first season so you can keep your job at Rangers. We've also got in here a 5-year plan. So this is the current season. We talked about this. Be competitive in the Champions League, qualify, win the Scottish Cup, and win the Premier Sports Cup. So they are the objectives for this season, of course, at differing levels of what's needed. But yeah, Champions League seems to be a big one. The following season, it's all about challenging for the title and reach the Champions League proper. 27-28, they want to win the league, continue in the league. So essentially, you've got 2 seasons they're going to give you before you are the best team in Scotland. That is the goal when you take this Rangers job. You've got to have 2 years of solid progress. Then in the 3rd season, you're winning the league. And that's what the board are looking for. And look, that's probably what Rangers fans in real life are thinking right now. They want to see this club progressing on and on and on. So I've just put in a quick tactic, a 4-3-3 for Rangers here. And this is what the game suggests as your starting 11. Look, if you're looking at areas to improve in here, you'd possibly look at maybe adding in some depth into the central midfield, certainly if it's going with Lyle Cameron in there at the moment. I think Rangers possibly need to also, improve at centre-back. You can have issues at right-back going forward because Max Aarons is on loan and you've got James Tavernier as well. So striker, that's potentially, it's always a position that you want to improve in. But yeah, Rangers have got some work to do, in my opinion, when it comes to building the squad. But certainly as a starting point, competing with Celtic in the Scottish Premiership, this team right here would struggle to do that, and that's the main battle. You're going to have to try and find your wins with the tactics, because this Rangers team, as we look at it here, and some of the options you've got off the bench, it's not necessarily in the strongest position, and we know that from real life. We look at Danilo here, a player that the club spent some decent money on in the past. Could you get a tune out of him? Other ones we haven't really looked at yet, Kieran Dowell, can you get him going? He's actually rated pretty well on the game, to be fair, so he could definitely be an option if you're going to play with that number 10 position. But Dowell is an interesting one to add to this team. And are there any other players we haven't looked at yet? Matondo, he's a good player. Certainly on the old game, he was a decent player. Good pace. Not a lot. Not a lot of other attributes in his favor. But yeah, the pace is definitely something you could potentially utilize as the season goes on. But certainly a player as well. The game has currently transfer listed, so you could sell him. Try and bring in a little bit of money to improve the team. But yeah, guys, this is a brief look at what Rangers look like in Football Manager 2026. Let me know what you think in the comments below and what you're going to do with this Rangers team. I'll be interested to see what people are thinking with this Rangers side this season.